And as much as we know that the folks at IRS have a thankless job because they have to go and tell their fellow Americans that they may be audited or they have to do this work understaffed, we have to maintain the confidence in the system because it's a voluntary system of payment of our taxes.
Agreed.
And so you are right. It was a foolish mistake, but the president's even more correct that it was outrageous and intolerable. Now, let me also focus on something, Mr. George, you said. When you were asked, was there any finding or evidence of political motivation here? You said no.
That's correct, sir.
Okay. And so what we find is a situation where inexcusable activity took place because it erodes the confidence of the American people in a system where they participate voluntarily. And if there's a place in public service where you have to have the highest level of conduct and standards, it's at the IRS.
And it's probably ultimately damaging to the sense of voluntary compliance, which underlies our entire tax system.
That's a word euphemism we use. We use voluntary compliance when we talk about traffic signals. Most people at 2 o'clock in the morning, do you stop at a red light?
Yeah.
Is there a cop there?
Sometimes I don't.
Well, I do, and most of us do. Most of us do.
Right.
But that's voluntary compliance.
It's a voluntary system of payment of our taxes.
Agreed.
I don't think we force people.
Taxation is not forceful?
Well, no.
It's voluntary?
In fact, quite to the contrary. Our system of government is a voluntary tax system.
Oh, if you don't want to pay your taxes, you don't have to?
Of course, you have to pay your taxes.
It's probably ultimately damaging to the sense of voluntary compliance, which underlies our entire tax system.
It is not an act of against someone's will, because people are voting for people in office, establishing a government, giving that government power to self-govern and to do things that the public needs. So in that sense, it's very much a voluntary act.
That's a word
So, you just heard politicians, and the IRS just say that taxes are voluntary. I've been saying this for 15 years. And so the reason why they're voluntary, because it's in the tax code, but there's nothing in the tax code that says taxes are mandatory. There's nothing in it says that they're mandatory, that you have to pay taxes. And if you go to your local tax office, you might see on one of the billboards of a ward, if you can find where in the tax code that it says taxes are mandatory. Okay, I bring this up because the new year is coming about, and some of you are like, I need to keep some more money in my pocket. Remember, if you decide to put exempt on your I-9 form or state tax form and your W-4 form for federal, you put exempt on there, mind you, you cannot participate in the system as far as taxation goes. There is a way to get out of paying Social Security tax. However, that would mean getting rid of your citizenship. So we're not talking about that. We're talking about the two that takes the most money out of your paycheck, which is federal and state. They are voluntary. All you need to do is change your forms. Like I said, we're coming up on the new year, and some jobs may require you to fill out those forms every year. But if you want to keep extra money in your pocket, do it. Okay, you just don't file taxes ever again. If you're going to do it, don't file taxes no more. Just stop. Okay, so this is me, Kung Fu CJ, here to give you some tips before the new year. Tomorrow, I will have as a special guest Soldiers of Finance, Tyrone Keys, and we're going to talk about how to get how to invest in hard assets like property and houses, and some creative ways to get those if you don't want to go to get a mortgage. Let's say you want to buy a foreclosure, or you want to buy a tax lien. We'll discuss that. Also, with the automobile industry, we're going to talk about how you don't really own your car. And if you're paying property tax, you really don't own your house either. So we'll talk about that, how to create trust, the best way to do it. And just tune in 7 o'clock. Peace.